because I truly believe after all the research that I have worked on this, lasers are coming. They're coming. It is the way of the future. And youth, I definitely want your advice and your opinions on this because the lasers will definitely be in your world far before they were in mine. And that's where I want to take this. That's exactly where I want to take it. So I've already been to two people concerning this, and everything seems to be a go. And when my instincts literally come from my gut, youth. When you have something that you know, and it just will not, like a monkey on your back, it won't go anywhere. It is. Let me say that to you. It is. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot, because you can. You can. I worked for a utility company for 22 years. I left there, retired from there actually, left there, started another business, and then the academy came to me. And I let it go for a year, and then it came back to me. I never worked, I'll get sentimental in the head. I never worked so hard to create it because I did it on my own. And by doing it on my own and not hiring anyone to do it for me, I know that education from A to Z. And it took me about a year and a half. And actually, I had the other business at the time. And when I finished my handbook, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And my husband got up and he was going to work. And he looked at me and he goes, "Have you been to bed?" And I had been to bed. But when I typed that last page, I literally cried because it was just like a burden had been lifted off my shoulders. So I'm just telling you, youth, don't ever give up. Believe in what you believe in, and don't let anybody ever tell you you can't, because you can. You can.
Melanie, I'll follow up on that if I could a little bit.
Yes.
Being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing to do. We have a lot of students here, and in one of the courses that I teach here in business, I do talk to students a lot about the prospects of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You know, the things that I think of in terms of what it takes to be an entrepreneur is someone with commitment, dedication, perseverance. Now I'm adding prayer to that as well, based on what you said. But I think the big question, and because it does take so much effort and commitment, is why do it? You mentioned great rewards. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
I love creating. I love building. I went to meet with the gentleman at our salon in Vienna. He had never met me. I had never met him. And we were standing there talking, and we were looking around. He looked at me, and he goes, "You literally get a high off this, don't you?" And I go, "Yes, I do. Yeah, I do." And I think the reason I have created what I've created is because once I've got that up and running, I'm ready for the next move. I'm ready for the next adventure. I'm ready. I am ready. It's simple as that. And I tell my students at school, I get a high off business, so I don't need anything else to give me that high. I get a natural high off of it. I literally get a natural high. And I'm ready for this. I'm ready to make this move. I am ready to connect. I am ready to incorporate whatever needs to be done. I'm ready to move.
I have a question here. Finances. I mean, it takes money. And you are, I mean, as you said, you don't have any background in the area of, two questions actually. Number one, well, you said you worked you told me privately, I guess as an accountant or?
I worked at the gas company for 20 years, and that's what I did was accounting.
Right. And then shifting toward this new field that you had no license, no nothing,
Nothing.
and then didn't you worry about failing, about finances?
No. When it comes to business, I just look at my coworkers here and I tell them, when it comes to business and moving on a business deal, I have no fear of that. My personal, it's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. But when it comes to the business world, no. I am so ready to move. Let me just say this. I'm a budgeter. I can squeeze a buffalo off a nickel. Let me just tell you that. If that's what it takes, then when we went from February to October and November, I was in my office at the first school, and everyone was gone about 6 o'clock. It came to me to buy. So I called the bank, and I get my banker on the phone, and I go, Chris, I'm ready to buy. And he gets a gentleman, a loan officer on the phone with me, and they say on the phone, they look at me, and they go, well, where are you going to get the money? I go, you're the bank. That's why I'm calling. And that's exactly what happened. Actually, the first year, and I had to chuckle about this too, when we went in to purchase, of course, we had our income tax information. Of course, they needed all of that. And Laura Hall, she looked at me and she goes, do you realize you had a profit the first year? I didn't. My accountant, I did not. My accountant takes care of that, so I just didn't. If we'd have been failing, I'm sure she'd have told me. And she told me how much it was, and she goes, she must have seen the look on my face, and she goes, aren't you proud of that? And I go, no, I'm not. No, I'm not proud of that. And I go, I expected more, is exactly what I told her. And so she goes, Melanie, businesses has only been open for 10, 11 months. She goes, they don't profit. She goes, they may profit 3 to 5 years from now. They don't profit. We have profited every year. That's why I can move forward. That's why I don't waste. Youth, do not waste. I'm just telling you. I've been there, believe me, and I did waste. So don't waste.
So you're talking a lot about growing your business,
Yes.
obviously, and you've been growing. A couple of questions come to mind. As you're growing,
Yes.
you only have a certain amount of hours in the day, no matter how much you care about this business. And so there's management complexities with that. And I'm wondering what you've thought about with those as you continue to expand your business. And along with that, do you think that you have the potential managers that you could hire or potential employees that you could hire in this area that have the skill set, or have you thought about having to go outside of this area as your business grows to get some of those employees that you'll need?
I've already been there. I have a party that I do want that's out of town. We have been talking for 2 years now. I also have a party in town that we've been talking since last year. And as of right now, I have a total of 6 instructors with my facility that have been with me since day one we opened. And then now my son is on board. Yeah. I'm always at least 3, 6, 9 months ahead in business in my mind. There's times I literally sleep, and my husband can verify this, a pencil and paper under my pillow. Because if I wake up in the middle of the night and I think about what needs to be done the next day, I write it so I can go back to sleep. Because if I don't write it, I will not go back to sleep because I'm afraid I'm going to forget what needs to be done the next day. I wish my mind would shut down. It doesn't shut down. Sometimes my body does, but my mind doesn't. So my husband pays for it, believe me. And so does my coworkers here. Believe me, they do.
We have about 5 minutes, so I want to get some questions or some feedback, anything from students. Anybody wants to ask questions? Yes, guys, just pass.
Okay, so you're saying that you're working on the syllabus to teach the laser?
That's correct.
Okay, so like there's no one that like knows how to do it right now? Well, like knows how to, but hasn't been taught yet?
You mean student-wise?
Right, correct.
That is correct.
Okay. So, I mean, like just coming from like youth,
Yes.
to set you out from like dermatologists and stuff.
Yes.
That's what I would want to see. Like I wouldn't trust just anyone doing my laser. So, I mean, you're already a step ahead, but that's what I would want as a youth. So. that's what I'm looking for.
And with that, I have a couple gals. They are educators for lasers out of Colorado and out of Texas. That's who I brought in to train us on these machines as well. Yes, I think it would be fantastic.
So for your business, do you like actually teach or do you just like manage all of it?
I manage and I'm the bean counter, which means the accountant.
Okay.
Yes, and I run a very tight ship. I think they can tell you that. I don't tolerate foolishness, don't have time for it. They know what their jobs are, and we flow pretty nicely.
I had a question. Well, actually, some feedback. If you're looking to advertise to college students, maybe something. I'm right here.
Where are we at?
Right here.
Okay, I can never find anybody, I'm sorry.
For college students, for treatment-wise, maybe advertise in this area. I know there's Washington State Community College, Marietta College. Like how it could fit into the student's schedule if they're going to get laser treatment. I know like acne comes, it's something that happens to everyone. If it's affordable, and if it's safe, I'm unfamiliar with laser treatment, so I don't know. Another thing you could advertise to college students or even high school students in this area would be for like a paid or an unpaid internship, or even just some experience in the business world. Maybe they could learn about an unfamiliar up-and-coming field of work that they could fall back on, because I know I just this semester decided on a major. I was undecided. I didn't even know if I wanted to come to college. So people that are undecided, it could be something like, maybe this is something I'd like to do or try, even if it's unpaid, just get some experience. And then another thing was just about learning to manage a business. You said that you do accounting. We have accounting majors here. Maybe just bring someone along and give some in-field experience, and it would also build some credit to you as like a community-oriented business as well.
Say that again, I missed it.
If you were to bring in interns, it's something that could possibly make your business look like more of a community-oriented business that you give back to the community as well.
Good ideas. Thank you. Thank you. I'm actually open to the youth. I hate to say that, guys, but this is our future. They are our future. Yes.
I just have an idea, maybe before starting, opening up a whole new business, might be to offer classes to some people like our age who might be interested in skin and dermatology and medical school. That might be something that might interest them. Even around here, OU that's only 45 minutes from here. That might be something to advertise to them, because I'm sure they have a medical major or a dermatology major that might attract students or potential workers for you who might be knowledgeable starting out in school. It might help you to start classes. Or
And what is your name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. You're on my track.
My suggestion is, you seem to be familiar with the business and you know the technology and you have the connections, but in my mind what's holding you back is the brick and mortar store. Could you be like a service industry for various other salons or whatever else that could be interested in what you have to offer? Because you said the closest one's in Columbus or whatever, so I envision you as a support system for other salons and other things, and you would bring the connections for the laser units to them and the education to them, and they would contract with you.
Exactly. But I have to start somewhere, get up and running in order to make that happen. Exactly.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Guys, you can always stay after 5 o'clock and mingle with Melanie. Also, make sure if you have comments for her that you want us to share with her, you have feedback you want to give her and you didn't get a chance to actually talk about it right now, you can put it on a paper. Let's call Ryan and
Can I add one thing?
oh, one more thing. 1 minute.
I'm sorry. We are passing out flyers. It's showing you everything we do. If you want to put your name and telephone number on the back, we will be drawing for a free acne treatment, and or a skin rejuvenation. So we will be contacting you. And who may possibly be interested in something like this, just put a yes on that sheet, and we will go from there.
Thank you, Melanie. Ryan.
Thank you very much. Wow. So we're going from beauty to fitness and adventure and recreation. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, so Ryan Smith is our next guest, and it's a pleasure to be here today to introduce Ryan. He came back to our community about 10 years ago, originally from this area, and he was spending some time in an RV in California living that life and thought, you know what, I want to return to my roots and bring that kind of lifestyle back to the Mid-Ohio Valley. Wow, that's an entrepreneurial concept, right? So he is trying to recreate the vibrant outdoor community in California here in his hometown. He began the Marietta City Trail Initiative system about 10 years ago, and I think many of us value that system for walking, biking, hiking. I know my son likes to skateboard on it. I don't know if you're allowed to, but he does. But anyway, so we certainly value his commitment to our community and to fitness, to wellness, to recreation, and are interested in hearing his plans for the future, and perhaps we can offer some useful feedback. So without further ado, come on down, Ryan. Do you have your bike? Did you bike down? No? Okay.
Thank you, Hillis. All right. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ryan Smith. I am the founder of Marietta Adventure Company, and we are a full-service bike and kayak shop. We do offer some other services outside of that. I returned to Marietta in approximately 2005, I believe, and it took a few years getting to the point to actually opening the shop. I pulled the trigger on my kayak rental portion. That was the start of Marietta Adventure Company, a livery service. So we offered kayak rentals, shuttle service where we transport you on the water. You know, that was the start. The following spring, I opened the full retail shop in downtown Marietta. That was on the heels of another local bicycle shop closing, which at that point I was only doing kayaks, but saw the opportunity to expand things and to become a full retail shop at that point. You know, I recently read an article, and actually I should pull my little visuals up here. This is the front of my shop. If anyone's ever been down the 200 block of 2nd Street, we're right next to Tampico Mexican restaurant. And thanks to Sarah Rosenstock for the wonderful design work on our signage. You know, I recently read an article about the bike industry, and you know, they said nobody's getting rich in the bike industry. And you know, and that certainly wasn't my motivation when I decided to open a bike and kayak shop. You know, this was something I was very passionate about, and I was tired of doing the other things that I had been doing, and figured if you got to get up and go to work in the morning, it may as well be doing something you really enjoy. You know, some estimates put the bike industry at earnings at 20 to 30% less than equivalent industries. You know, and I think that a lot of that is a reflection of the way the world has changed. You know, we shop online. Bricks and mortar stores are either dying or evolving and surviving. And, you know, and I wouldn't have went into this industry if I didn't still think there was some future in a bricks and mortar store such as this. What we've seen is, you know, and I think it's true for all of retail, but my focus obviously is more in the outdoor industry, is you have the traditional shop where in the past, before there was online competition, you relied heavily on the sale of goods, and any service aspects of the business were sort of a bonus, a more peripheral in the business. Now we're seeing a new breed of bike shop that is focused on what you can't get in an online sale. So it's strictly the service aspect. So it's repairs, it's custom bike fitting, it's setting up coffee shops inside of the bike shop, diversifying your offerings and creating a community around what you do.